Ooh, assalamu alaikum. We're late, but we are starting our pilot episode of Serious and Sincere right now with our guest, Octogenius. Assalamu alaikum. I apologize for being late. Okay. Now invite. Assalamu alaikum, sis. I'm gonna need some help. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Majida. I am, yes. Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you for being gracious.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum.
No, I thought I did something wrong. I'm not hip to all this live stuff. I understand.
I was knocked out until 9:09 p.m.
No, I
So
understand.
thank you
I
so
understand.
much for still being available.
It's Friday night. I'm good. I'm just waiting for my food to
Okay.
get here. Inshallah.
Okay. Okay, right on. Please introduce yourself.
Introduce myself. My name is Akram Sadiq. I am currently in Atlanta, Georgia, uh, by way of Florida, by way of Indiana, and this is my current resting place right now. So that is the skinny of it. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. What made you travel?
Uh, family, marriage. Well, for Florida, I was born in Florida. I was only there for like maybe a year and a half, and I lived most of my life up in Indianapolis, where most of my family has established roots and built community. And then I moved down here when I got married the
Okay.
last time. So marriage brought me down here, and family and community is keeping me here. So,
Okay. What did you order?
oh, for my food.
Yes.
I can't tell that. No. Um, something simple like a Philly cheese. I had lamb the last few days. I'm okay with lamb right now. Um, Philly cheese and yeah, Philly cheese. I'm gonna try this new spot. I'm gonna see what it's about. So inshallah, it'll be good. I just didn't feel like cooking tonight, so I decided just to order out. It's Friday night. I had the work week, and just to unwind, maybe watch a movie later on. Inshallah.
Okay, what you watching?
I gotta catch up on some of my series. I have a couple of things in queue. I have the Star Wars episodes from the Disney Plus. I have Amazon Prime Video. I think it's the Lord of the Rings. That's actually getting pretty
Mm.
good, honestly. I was shockingly and surprisingly interested in that. But yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean, I just kind of scanned to see that I was eyeing the Kid Cudi new series on Netflix. I haven't decided to watch that yet. I think it's a movie or series. I can't remember, but everybody was saying it was pretty decent. So it's like an animated series or movie. So
Is it based on music?
I don't know. I didn't dive into it. I think it's more of drama because this is a TVMA type situation, but it's kind of like animated. If you ever seen the Spider-Man in Into the Verse or whatever, the artistic comic type drawing is kind of based off of that. So it looks pretty interesting. I haven't really dove into the story to understand what they're talking about, but it's
Okay.
kind of like an adult version based off of that type of artistic creativity.
So it's like a grown-up cartoon. My kids didn't watch
That's
it. It's like
that's what it
Boondocks.
sounds like. They give you the
Okay.
rating at the beginning, so there's no excuse. So it's like TVMA. I don't know what the MA is for. I don't know if it's language or sexuality or whatever it might be, but that's what I noticed. So it I would classify it definitely as a an adult cartoon. I wouldn't probably let your kids watch it without parental consent. At least definitely the kids under 10. So
Okay. Okay. Alhamdulillah. So let's get into some other stuff. Um, what's your height, weight, and what's your preference?
Get straight down to it. Okay. My height is 5'6". Weight's about 140, 145. Um, I'm more like an athletic build, I guess, medium build. My preference, I guess, in my spouse or what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Um, I'm, I see beauty in a lot of, I mean, in a lot of different shapes. I mean, my preference would be, somebody that's kind of ideal, close to, my size. Um, Petite is okay, because I'm
Okay.
not, I'm not a huge guy. I'm not a basketball player or, football player or anything like that. So, somebody that's, preferably not taller than me. But I'm not really. That's not a deal breaker for me. I don't think that is. But I know a lot of y'all sisters like wearing heels and stuff. So I'm like, if you 5'7", 5'8", and you're like, I can't wear no heels because I want to hang out with, my husband. I don't want him to. Personally, I got to a point in my life I'm okay with that. So as long as you're confident in being around me, I'm
Okay.
not gonna trip on that. So somebody that's in medium build, petite build, you know, 5'6" and under is acceptable. So that's as far as just the looks and just the way everything is.
Okay. Now, um, you said you ate a lot of lamb this week, and then you ordered a cheesesteak. So you're not vegetarian, right?
Does having books count?
Do you
Reading?
eat paper?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no.
Me neither. Yes. So you prefer your spouse also eats meat, or eat around the food chart, or do you have a
Well,
preference?
I'm gonna say this. As I get older, I'm being more conscious of, being healthy, and you know, a lot of us feel like when we're younger, we're so invincible, we get to eat whatever we want. But I'm a firm believer in food is the definite medicine of life. So I'm not restricting anybody. I'm open to anything as long as it's flavorful. Because I tried the
Mhm.
vegan approach or the vegetarian approach. Um, Pretty much, I tried most of the diets out there. So I'm not a person where I just have to have meat. I don't have to have meat. So it was just like my mother's birthday was yes yesterday. Wait a minute, what's today? 7th? Yes. No. What's today?
Today's the 7th.
I'm so
The
this is my
8th.
age showing. I'm so old and my mind is fogged. So yeah, my mother's birthday is on the 5th, so we went out to eat, and that's what it was like a Mediterranean they chose to go to. So the options on there obviously is lamb or chicken and stuff. So I'm cutting back on chicken, um, researching health things and see what's better for my body. So I'm conscious on that, but I'm not. That's not like a drawback or a deal breaker in finding a spouse. I mean, I can cook for myself. I can take care of myself. I've done it for years. Um, but I would love to have a wife that's open and like if she's straight vegan, I'm okay. But it gotta be some banging food. If it ain't banging food, we ain't talking. Like I'm not doing no weird stuff off the side. I need some food that's flavorful. When it comes to certain things that I like my money. I like my food. I mean, I love,
Mashallah.
you know, those are things you don't want to mess with me. Like, okay, and people think I'm a
Man,
stickler or I'm just too picky. I'm like, I like to have quality food and I like to have money. So
alhamdulillah. Okay, so what if she showed up late, right? She showed up late. She was 5'10", and she picked around on her food. What would it take for you to stay interested in a sister?
she showed up late. So we're talking about a scenario going out to eat, or
Yes, yes, scenario. So she shows up late and she's 5'10", and she picks around on her food.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna know she's 5'10" because we're gonna be talking. I don't do no surprise.
Okay.
Hey, surprise! No, we gonna know. So, especially we gonna meet up, so that way it's kind of more of a, it's not a awkward interaction. So the height
Okay.
thing, as long as we go out to eat, if the vibe is right and I'm vibing with her, I'm cool with that. Um, when she, when it comes to picking around the food, I'm very patient. I'm very patient on that. So I don't, I'm not a stickler like that. When it comes to my personality and just my vibe and everything, I'm laid back. So I'm not gonna hold that against her. If she don't like the food, just tell me, right? So it's like if she picks and doesn't eat all of it, I don't like wasting food. So that,
Mm.
I guess if that's what you're saying, like if she's just like, I want a woman that likes to eat. It shows that she's not too scared, or she's she's healthy and she knows how to be comfortable in her own skin. So I ain't tripping on that. So like if she shows up late, if it's a valid reason, because
Okay.
I've been in those situations where not even showing up late. Like if I had to go pick up somebody and they're not ready, that irritates me. Like, and I get it. You know, you get a pass probably the first time, but if you're meeting me for the first time and you're trying to come and make an impression, that just shows that you're not really serious about, like, oh, if I overslept, or oh, I have something else to do. Communicate with me. Like,
Okay.
so I don't want to be knocking on the door and you still not dressed, and I got to sit there and wait for you to get there. And but arriving to the restaurant late, things like that, it could be traffic, it could be anything. So I'm a very understandable type of person. So I'm not really going to hold that against you, but I do want to make sure that's an important factor.
Okay. What if she was late because she was praying in the car?
That's okay. I don't.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Are
I
you a
wouldn't.
stickler for your prayers?
Am I what now?
Stickler for your prayers. Do you schedule things? Do you schedule things so that they don't run into salat times?
I'm gonna be honest. I try to do that, but the short end of it, or the long story short point of it, is that um, life happens and Allah is merciful. Allah understands
Mm.
those things. So yes, of course, as a Muslim, you want to plan around prayers, but obviously the work day you're running around, or if you have other stuff or anything's unpredictable. Um, but as long as you're conscious enough to either make it up or make an effort to do it, depending on what you're doing. So I mean that's to me, I'm a stickler on trying to be conscious of making my prayers, and
Okay.
I wouldn't say that you know I'm in the middle of a highway and I pull over and say Maghrib or something. I'm trying to go to my destination. And I've been around Muslims like that. They'll be like, "Oh, wait, we got prayer." I'm like, "Can we just make it to the house or maybe the local masjid?" No, we're gonna pull over, and I'm okay with and Allah's merciful. That's why we have enough time within between the prayers to be able to pray, right? I mean,
Okay.
I think that's the reason why. So Allah doesn't say you have 5 minutes to pray, or else that's a bad deed. So Allah's merciful, and I take advantage of that mercy. So when I plan my prayers and do my prayers, yes, they are definitely a part of my day. But just like anything else in Islam, anything in life, I do struggle with that some days. Just to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay. So does that mean you struggle with sometimes offering like the extra ones too? Like you get up for tahajjud?
Yeah, that I do struggle with that. So um, partly because my sleeping pattern is off. I'm up all day. I get up early. I go to sleep, and I try to go to sleep on time, but it's struggle to go to sleep. But then getting up in the middle of the night to pray the extra prayers, the extra rakas, it's life is a struggle. I'm just gonna be honest. Life is a struggle. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm Sheikh Akram. No,
Okay.
I'm a brother that's living in this world, that has a good heart, that has focused on his spirituality, his religion, his deeds, and trying to do right. And
Okay.
I'm definitely conscious of it. I'm not just. I like to say I don't exist in Islam. I engage in Islam, because I always say that as a definition, because some people just exist in Islam and say, well, I'm a Muslim, and they just exist and float around. I try to engage myself in, community life. I try to engage myself in marriage, getting married and building family. I'm trying to engage myself in learning more about who I am as a Muslim. So yeah, so I would classify myself as a person that is engaging day to day, and that just makes me human. I think that makes me human, and I accept that. And like I said, I've seen all kinds of walks of life and different people I've interacted with that they're sticklers on that, or they I won't say beat themselves over it, about not being able to do those things. But at the end of the day, Allah is merciful. He gives us this opportunity to repent or do anything. If we believe that, then we have to accept the fact that we're real people.
Okay. So your ideal spouse should feel like you feel, or at least give you room.
Always give me room because I'm gonna give her room. So she doesn't have to feel like I feel, because I think when you marry somebody, you want to have a different dynamic into your relationship. You don't want to have the same thing that, like, if I grew up in an environment, you want to have similarities and common connections, but you don't.
Mhm.
I don't want to be a duplicate of my wife. You know what I'm saying? Because you won't grow, you won't develop, you won't progress in life. I do want somebody from, maybe, as you can say, the other side of the tracks. I want somebody that is that lived a slightly different life, but we come together with Islam, connecting us, understanding that we grew up in the common understandings of prayer, it's, the studies and knowledge. And even if she has different ideologies inside of Islam, I'm open to that. And that's something that you would obviously go through as you go through the courting process, to learn and say, okay, well, what have you been taught? And how do you see Islam? Or, what kind of, school of thought that you're following. So yeah, I'm okay with, giving her room as much as she gives me room, because I think that allows us to be ourselves, because marriage is a constant learning of each other every day. And if you don't give that person that room, that's where divorce happens. So
Mm. So you've been married before.
I've tested the waters.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, no, I've been married twice. Um,
Okay.
so
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
so where did y'all come together, and where did y'all differ, if it's not too personal?
On which one? You want to
On
start
this
with the first one?
on practicing Islamically, where did y'all come together and where did y'all differ? Like what ended up not being enough for the marriage to last?
Well, the first one, I'll just go to that one. The first one was simple. I had a son, but with my first wife. Um, I think it was very evident that she just didn't want to really practice Islam. I think it was more so that and she was young, and she had a certain vision for herself to go out and live her life. So I sensed that early on. So I knew that, like, I'm going right. Oh, I'm going left. Well, okay, I'm not going left. So it was no negotiation. It was very evident that that's what she wanted to do, and it wasn't, cohesive in Islamic, instructions at all. So I'm like, I can't do that. So if you want to go over there, do that.
Okay.
And the second marriage, it was, I think I think the biggest thing that I can say was patience and understanding is something uh, that was part, because I think the second time I got married recently, it was real. I think it had sincere connections and building, but I think some things were rushed, some things wasn't allowed to grow in its natural state. So Islamically, I think we was in tune. I don't think there was any issues there. Compatibility of being with each other and just being around each other, I think, was there. But I think the patience and understanding each other and giving the room to grow into what we're supposed to be. And then the final piece is understanding where you're trying to go, right? So, like, I've grew up in a household where it was, um, I grew up in a big family. My mother and father was married. They was together, until my father passed 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So, um, and that was my first model of marriage. And then, of course, me being in a big family, seeing my brothers and sisters get married. So it was a pattern that was followed. So I had a vision of okay, this is what I want for marriage. And those are the things that you have to pay attention to. Sometimes you love a person, you be with the person, but if they're conditioned or groomed over the years or experienced certain things over the years that uh, put them in a situation where they want to get married, but there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of luggage, there's a lot of baggage, there's a lot of issues and things, personal issues and marital issues that you have to fight through. And that is, I've always said, it's not, that doesn't make it them a bad person, or that doesn't really make us not compatible. It depends on if you really want to work through it. So with my last marriage, I think patience and opportunity for growth, um, and just given a chance to develop. Because I was married for almost 5 years, 4.5 years. Before we mutually decided to walk away from the situation. And the opportunity has always been there to reconcile or see where we are in life and grow. But at the end of the day, you know, you accept, okay, this is who you are. And I've learned that in my life too. It's like as you get older, you have to accept, okay, this is who this person is. If they want to or they don't want to, you can't change them. That's something I'm learning now and I learned in my elder life. You can't change a person.
You have no desire to.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. Desire, desiring to change a person is a lot of energy. I'll say that. But I've tried in many different relationships, not just marriages. I've tried in many different, dating Christian women, right? I tried that approach. Oh, all you gotta do is accept Islam and read the Quran and say, take Shahada and and wear this a little. But if that person is spirit and the energy and everything is not naturally inclined to do those things,
Mm-hmm.
you beating yourself up. You know, I've learned in all those things in my history, in my relationships and friendships and things like that. Especially as you pass the age of 30, 35, 40, and all that stuff, you're gonna be who you are. That doesn't mean you can't get influenced to be better than who you are.
Right.
That just means that there are certain things that just not going to change, which is a huge component of who that person is. And, living with that person, you'll learn those things because courting a person, you'll say, yeah, I'm accepting of that. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. But then when you get with that person and say, I married this person, and you find certain things that you can't change, the desire might be there, but it just won't work. So
Okay. Okay. So what are some red flags, like top three, maybe red flags that you absolutely can't overlook at this point? How old are you now?
I'm 42. I'll be 40,
42. At
yeah, I'll
42.
be 43 in December, inshallah.
Okay. At 42, what are some things you absolutely cannot accept?
You got to love family.
Okay.
If a person that's not family oriented is we're just not gonna get along. That's just period. Um, that's step number one because I value my family, I love my family, and I'm around my family a lot. But that doesn't mean they have to be like you sit here, you do this, this is your no. If you want to step away sometimes, you don't want to be around my family. I'm okay with that. But they have to have that kind of mentality of like I love family, I love children.
Okay.
So somebody that doesn't have that type of mentality, um, somebody that's not really genuinely understanding who they are as a person at this point in life, right? I understand there's certain things you're trying to figure out, but I think the biggest thing is to me a red flag is if you're in your 30s and 40s and you're like you don't know how to be. I mean, in my situation, you don't know how to be a wife or a woman, right? I can't teach you that.
Mhm. Right.
And I wouldn't say that's necessarily a red flag. That's just it's like something at this time and age, if you don't understand that, I'm a man. I can't teach you. I can tell you what I want from you as my wife.
Mm.
But yeah, I would say that's uh, definitely a red flag. Drama. I don't do drama.
Child, boo.
Don't I don't do I don't do any drama. So um, I'm drama free. I like to be stress free. I don't like, you know, chaos and hecticness. Um, I mean, like I said, I'm an easygoing person, so it's those are the major red flags. Not knowing how to communicate, but I think I don't think that's a personality. I think it's a man and woman thing. I just think I would label it as brothers and sisters may just don't know how to communicate with each other, and that's
Mm.
something that you have to learn. It's an art. It's a development. Um, yeah, I mean, but learning from your point of view how to express yourself and how you feel, I think those are
Mm.
the things that I would want in a wife to say. Yeah, even if it takes you got to take time. I'm okay. I'm patient. Like I said, patience is something I'm learning to do as you get in a relationship. If you want to take time to, but work on yourself and develop yourself. Um, you got to have confidence. You don't have confidence, then, and when I say confidence, not confidence outward, confidence inward is more important to me than outward. Because a lot of people can show confidence outward, but then you get them by themselves. You're like, you're really not strong enough to stand on your own. You looking for stuff outwards, and you're part of a group, and you moving and grooving. I want somebody that feels comfortable in themselves, and is okay with the scars and the beautiful things that they've experienced in life. So yeah, those are my major ones. I mean, I can get deeper and deeper and deeper, but then that's I guess that I'll leave that for courtship and talking to each other. But those are the ones that stand out. Definitely, I definitely want a woman that's family oriented, that knows how to love, that loves herself and others, um, that is patient. Those are the
Okay.
things that I would say if they don't have those are red flags to me at this point in life.
Okay. And how much of that confidence should be based on um, how she feels as a Muslim versus maybe like that confidence coming from um, Afrocentric awareness?
I say it got to be a perfect blend of both. I dig. I can say this. I dig natural women, women that are natural from head to toe. That's something. I don't know. That's I guess that's my weakness.
Okay.
Um, a woman that I mean, we're living in a fake world, so you living with weaves and makeup and things like that, and it's okay for a sister to do that, you know.
Mhm.
But I want somebody that is in tune to who she is, you know, as an African American sister, and she don't have to be African American. You know, I'm open to whatever,
Okay. You like
but
the rainbow?
do I like the rainbow?
Like the melanin spectrum.
I I would say this
Yeah.
in my later stages of life, I am not. I want to say I'm not too picky, but I'm not like I ain't gonna talk to this person. If she has a vibe and we vibing,
Yes.
she can be caramel complected. She can be Asian. She can be whatever. You know.
Okay.
So the vibe is got is so important to me, and the vibe comes from just like you said, the confidence, and let's just say it's not Afrocentric, but it's like Asian centric or Pakistani centric. You're in tune to who you are, your roots and your culture, so you're confident in that, and it brings it out, and how
Right.
you're not shying away from it, or you're not trying to adapt to another whole culture. Like,
Yes.
oh, like I'm part of the black movement, but you never grew up black. That's fake. So don't bring me the fakeness. I like a real down to earth sister that is natural from head to toe. Other stuff is negotiable, like makeup and stuff like that. I grew up in African American culture, so it's not something I would say is a taboo for me. But if I look at my preference, you know, the neo soul type feel, I think that's a good vibe for me. Um,
Okay.
Yeah. So, but blending that with Islam, yeah, she definitely got to be confident in her religion. I I think it's a balance. I'm a balanced type person, and I want my wife to be, or try to strive to be, a balanced person.
Okay. So you said neo soul. You listen to music?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
don't have a problem with dancing?
Uh, is that a loaded question? Are you trying to ask me, do I know how to dance?
Do you dance? Do you know how to dance? Yeah.
Back in the day when I was about 13, 14 years old, 12 years old, I can move a leg, but I can do a good mean tune step. I can jig with it. I try to keep up with some of these latest dances. I just can't. I'm too.
Okay.
But look, I'm up for a challenge, and that's something that I would love to do with my wife, is try different things. And yeah, but music is a huge part of my life. So it's
MashaAllah.
always been that
Okay.
way. So,
Okay. So what's your favorite kind of music? What do you like to move through?
well, I have to go with everybody's like rap, hip hop. I grew up in the '80s, so that's when rap became like the plaster and the posters, and all of those things. It became a culture and a movement. So I would have to say that's what I grew up in as far as our household. So old school hip hop, and just the roots in that. And I'm okay with some of the new stuff too. Like I said, I'm a music, I don't want to say connoisseur, but I'm a music student. I like to listen to different types of music. And I'm slowly but surely trying to get into this new vibe. And I'll listen. I'll be like, okay, he's spitting, or oh man, she's saying something. It's got to mean something, but I'm into the beats, and I'm into listening to the lyrics, but more so the sound and how it makes me feel. So hip hop is definitely at the core of it. But if you look at my playlist on my phone, on my YouTube, uh, for some reason I'm in the Afro beats right now. I don't know why. Like the Nigerian movement, I guess, is strong with all of us at this point. And I think it's maybe because of my nephews got me into it, because I like I try to do like I'm low key. I'm not really official DJ, but I do stuff for the family. And they be like, play this song, play that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who is this? And it's like an Afro beat. So this, like, I guess it's the new age of um what is that, the genre called, that the new people are listening to now.
I couldn't tell you. I apologize. I know the
But
old school ones.
yeah, so long story short, I'm into all kinds of music. Anything that makes me move and takes me places. Because when I listen to music, it's a whole nother, that's something that I would love to do. If I didn't do what I did every day, I would do music. I would
Yeah.
create, and I do create, and I'm working on that as a side opportunity or business, because I think ever since I was little, that's what my mother said. I would sing with the birds, and I would be playing piano at 5, but I never really played. I just played by ear, like just one finger. Um, but yeah, I think Allah has put it into me, and I try to stop it and go away from it, but I think it's something that I have to do. I don't know what it is. I know I'm not going to be a rap star, or rock star, or anything like that. That's just not my. I'm not into that. But I do want to do something with music and create. So inshallah, stay tuned.
You like classical?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jazz?
Oh, because my dad was heavy on jazz.
Yeah.
Uh, it puts me in a certain mood. Jazz is smooth. You got that smooth, and you got that melodic. You got the instruments, and just the the stories without saying something. It brings you into it. It's like, and it gives you the nostalgic of what it was like when your parents grew up, and what it was like, and how the culture was, and how some of the certain movements that you've experienced. But you haven't been there. It was just like, man, John Coltrane, Lena Horne, Dinah Washington, all of I'm just in there like, what was it like back then? Of course, Ray
Yeah.
Charles and stuff like that. So I wasn't heavy on like listening to albums. It was just I knew their music just by ear, listening to it and hearing it. It was just it's dope. I think it's just having that. Music transports me to different places, and when you give me a good music, It puts me into that mind state. I could be dancing, I can get hype. I can listen to some ratchet. I'm not really a ratchet person, but I can vibe with it if it has a good catchy tune, but nothing too outlandish. When it starts saying, F this and no, no, oh, okay, all right, let's move on. Fast forward. As a Muslim, I have to be conscious of that. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's because I know some people they don't listen to music. They feel it's haram, and they think it's something that is against what Allah says, and I agree with to a certain extent, but I
Hmm.
won't say all music is haram. I just think that how you use it and how it influences you could be haram in the time
Okay.
you listen to.
Okay. So what song or album would you say matched today for you? Like if you could set today to any song or album, any jazz song or album, or any other song or album, what would that be to
So
you?
I guess you're saying what's that one album that takes me that can
Yeah,
trend
if there was a soundtrack
any
for today.
so many. Um, I would say a timeless album. That would be something I would define it as. Um, the Black Star, Most Def, Talib Kweli. Definitely, that has a nostalgic thing because that was my brother. May Allah forgive him ever since he's passed away
I
14
mean,
years ago. He brought me into. I mean, I was into hip hop, but he introduced me to like Little Brother. Um, Cause I was listening to Lauryn Hill and Snoop Dogg before all of that. Cause Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre was killing it in '94, '95. It was just like
they were.
Death Row was taking over. Then Lauryn Hill came out with the Fugees and all that stuff, and then I went away. I graduated and went to college, but then I came back, to Indiana, and uh, connected with my brother on that, and we always loved music. But he introduced me to Little Brother, the Raucous Records movement, um, most definitely Talib Kweli, Black Star, and then of course Talib's future album. That's the starter. I can listen to it's 20 tracks, and I can listen to it from start to finish. It has because it covers so much. It still talks about certain things in today, and same thing with most that Black on both sides. You can't. These are classics. You can play
Okay.
these probably for another 30, 50 years, and they still fit the time because they're talking about the struggles that we're dealing with, and that's what keeps the playability so high and it connects you. Not even just the beats and the rhymes and stuff like that, and just the chemistry and the flow and the vibe. But if you listen to some of the lyrics, they're like, okay, that still applies. Back in 2001, 2002, it still applies to today's struggles. So those would be my Reacher albums. I got a lot of other ones, but those are the two albums where I can just play start to finish a classic, and they do touch on a lot of stuff that's talking about today in the future. So
Okay. Now, future spouse should be able to discuss that with you, or she should at least be willing to listen. Like, what do you require as far as conversation goes? She should
what
be
I
able to talk about these things.
what I prefer is yes, I want to be able to recite a lyric, and that goes for movies too. I want to be able to say something, and she finishes the sentence. She'd be like, "Oh man, I like you dope. I'm dope. You dope. We dope. We good. You understand. I understand." I'm vibe. That's my vibe. Like that's how my brothers be. We be killing in Taboo. They be like, "How do you know that?" It's you don't know. Oh, he
You
said
said
one
taboo?
word. He said one word. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. So, but I think it's important because it gives a human element into marriage because I think that's sometimes missed. We strict ourselves on religion and say, okay, you got to learn the prayers, you got to do this, you got to study Quran, study Hadith, and having those elements into the relationship, I think is so important, and it
Hmm.
keeps you grounded and it connects you. So I want a woman that can have those conversations with me. Now, will she have the deep conversation? That's not a requirement, but that's a huge plus. That is a
Deep
huge
conversations, not a
deep
requirement.
deep conversations. Mm, it's a borderline requirement preference, but I would rather, if she can't do that, then she can listen.
Okay.
She can listen attentively, attentively, not like, okay, when's he gonna shut up? Because I've been through that before, where it'd be like,
Yeah.
when's he gonna shut up? I'm like, okay, well, I'm in my moment. Let me tell you something. Hold on. I'm gonna get to the point. Give me a moment. Let me
Yes.
express
Like
myself, and
you
after
enough
that,
to
I'll
be
shut up.
quiet. Yes. Inshallah.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, those are definitely important to me. Personality is key. I don't want a cardboard box type woman where you're just plain and rigid and you can't smile, you can't joke, you don't have, even if it's not music, maybe it's whatever. Bring something to the table with some kind of energy and we can connect. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. You could draw pictures on a cardboard box though.
But
Cut that.
it ain't nothing like that. You can't feel the vibe from a cardboard box though. If I touch a cardboard box, it's still a cardboard box. But if I hear a different inflection in my wife's voice, I'm like, yo, I like the way she said that. I'm vibing with her. The cardboard box can't do that. Sorry.
Okay. Okay then. So what do you miss most about being married?
Where do I begin? Uh, no, real talk. Just having that team, that building. Because I've been on both sides. I've been single for a while. I've been married, and then I was single for quite a bit. Married, and then I'm single again. So I think knowing that I'm getting up in age, and people always say, "You ain't old, you know." I understand where I'm at. I'm almost 43. Some people don't think I look 43 or I feel 40, but I know, and I pray to Allah that I get to see the age that my father seen, almost 90, right, or more.
I
So,
mean,
um, I know the teamwork and the building a family life. Even though I had one son, having another, I don't want to have no children out of wedlock. It's Is I don't know. I'm not gonna say I've ever thought about this, but it crossed my mind. It's like, well, if I don't get married, I still want to have a child or something. So I'm gonna just find me a good woman. I was like, that's not Islamic. So I can't jump that. I can't find. Hey, you beautiful. Come here. Let's procreate before I get off this earth. No, I can't do that. But Shaitan influences you sometimes, and he push you into that situation. So you have to kind of dodge and do a spin move and a juke move to get past all of that to get back to the righteousness that you're supposed to be on. So teamwork, uh, just having that person that has your back, and then somebody that you can share moments with. Those are the two major things that you know. My family got my back. I can share moments with my family. There's nothing like having that woman at home that is building. Uh, family life and building community life together, and we're just tagging the world left and right. That feeling is just it's indescribable, and knowing that that person sees you as you see them. Those are the things that I miss in marriage. But some days I do like the quiet moments. Like right now, I'm in my house. I'm quiet. I like it. I can do what I want. I can go here, go there. Those are the only things that I can see in single life. But other than that, yeah, companionship, having that person that you can vibe with and learn from and grow with.
okay. So are you the kind of man who is happier when you're married?
I would have to say yes, definitely yes. I like my alone time, but I would say that in my heart and my design and what Allah put into me is, and I said this before out loud to just maybe my mom and whoever else is saying I'm here for marriage. I think that fulfills my purpose. I've tried the single life, and I know that being single is just not it. It's not the how you say it, the bee's knees or whatever. I know that's old. That's old
Not to
folks.
be. Yeah.
But it's not the yeah. It's just not. It's not for any human being. It don't matter how you mask it. But at the end of the day, everybody needs somebody. So you definitely gonna be happier. You know, marriage in its natural sense, meaning being together, building family. Legally, people, that's a whole nother discussion. You want to be legally married, Islamically married? No, I think
That's a question.
I think I'm the happiest when I'm married because I think I'm fulfilling my purpose.
Okay. So legally married, or I won't say legally married Islamically or legally married by the state. Which do you prefer?
I think both because I think you run into too many headaches if you're legally married or if you just Islamically married. And I've seen it firsthand because when I pass away or when my wife passes away or something happens, we have to, law tells us we have to respect the laws of the land. We have to be respectful in where we live. We don't have to follow everything, but we do have to respect it. And what happens if, me and my wife don't do this or something happens? I know there's rules and sets and things like that outside of that, but if we live in America, we live in the land of certain laws, then I would say definitely get married legally if you can. If you
Okay.
can. Like I said, it's not one of those deal breakers where I'm like, if we don't get married, such and such, if we get married Islamically and we live in it, that's fine. But at some point, we do have to have some kind of legal documentation that we agreed upon and the
Mhm.
community accepts it, whatever that community is, whether it's family or land of masjid or whatever. There has to be some kind of witnesses on that.
Okay. Okay. Big wedding, small wedding,
You asking a
hosting the
guy.
Waleika.
You
Which
asking a
one?
guy.
I
Guy,
mean, y'all matter too. Y'all matter too.
guys
So
don't. I'm gonna be
y'all can.
truthful. I'm gonna be honest. As
Okay.
11 out of 10 guys are going to tell you where should I sit, what I need, what color is it, can I get some cake? That's it. We ain't.
What kind of cake? What kind of cake?
I need something that is. I come from a family of homemade, so
There you
pound,
go.
pound cake. I remember my sister, my oldest sister, when I was 5, she got married. That cake was, oh my god, that was so delicious. That was so delicious. It was homemade and was a 2-tier. Oh, and she was the oldest out of us. We have 15 brothers and sisters.
MashaAllah.
So
That's
she was,
awesome.
yeah, me and my brother. They still show. I don't know what the video is, but it was me and my brother, the one that passed away. They got us. I got big chubby cheeks, and he's looking out for the lookout, and I'm killing the punch bowl with the chips in it. It's good memories. They was like, yes, and they just laughing at us, and I'm like, I'm just being a 5-year-old. Leave me alone. I'm trying to keep just punching these chips because ain't nobody saying I can't do it. I'm getting it. So, but yeah, homemade definitely is a go-to. It's got to be flavor. It's got to have a balance. It can't be too sweet. It's got to hit. So, pound cake is probably the go-to
Right.
for me. I don't like butter cake and I don't like butter frosting. I hate that. It's just it. It tastes like you eating bread with butter, sweet bread with butter.
Hold up. We talking about buttercream?
I don't
You
like
said
butter.
buttercream?
I don't.
Italian buttercream? We talking about just buttercream, period?
I
You
don't like.
just anti buttercream? You like
I'll
fondant?
eat. I'll eat it because I've been to. My niece just got married recently. My nephew just got married a month or so ago, and that's the kind of cake they have, and I ate it. So
What was the flavor?
I think it was like that. What was the flavor? Was it like a lemon? I think it was.
Homemade?
Oh no! This one homemade.
Well, that's the difference. That's the difference. Because I know a
Yeah,
sister, she tear up a buttercream. Yeah, I still remember the cake she made for my second birthday party. Like, you gotta know what you're
you
doing.
gotta send it. Look, look. Point me in that direction. You might make me a believer, but right now, I
You
prefer
ain't feeling
something that's that pound cake with the cream cheese
okay.
frosting. Yeah, yep.
Okay. So what's the playlist for your Walima? Top 5 songs. What gotta be on it? Even if nobody dances. Like what you wanna hear.
Like the dancers and stuff.
Yeah, if they even if they don't dance, like what songs do you need to hear that day?
Mm, something from Lauryn Hill. I think like her first album. That's a classic. Like Nothing Even Matters. That usually is a good one to kind of get the vibe right. Um,
Okay.
there's one song that I saw at my brother's wedding, their first dance, but that's a more of a nostalgic, emotional thing for me. So uh,
Okay.
I leave that untouchable because it puts me in that mode where I'm like, yeah, it takes me where I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's not touchable.
Okay.
Lauren Hill. Um, I mean, of course, the classics. You got to do Electric Slide. Of course, if you got a black wedding, you got to have the dance moves.
Which ones?
The how many is it?
It's a couple of them. The cha-cha slide, the
No, you talking about that? Yeah,
electric slide.
Electric Slide's
Um,
a definite. Cha Cha Slide, uh, Swag Surfing, definitely. Um, you gotta get some hype music to kind of get the crowd pumping. And kind of mix in, whatever the current genre is. But you got to, like I said earlier, the Afro beats. You throw a couple in there. I can list like uh, was it Fire FML? He's good. Osway, he's good. Um, he's Nigerian. You got to put that in because it gets the crowd pumping. It gets it going. Because I'm thinking of a playlist if I was the DJ of the party or something. I'm like, this is what I would do. But
okay.
entry songs, it's got to make a statement. It can't be something that everybody heard. Entry
You talking
song.
about entry songs? Okay, you choreographing now. Go ahead. Okay. So what y'all coming into?
I don't know. I got to dig in my listen. It's hard because there's so much good music out there. Uh, I got to uh, dig into my
Learn
clip
about
where I'm
it.
like, oh, you ain't heard this yet, and it's dope. You gonna feel this one because I get that reaction line. They be like, that's when you know you did good. They be like, what? Who's that? Who? And they try to. That's what they did this, my niece's wedding. And I was like, oh, you don't know this, do you? Here, let me show you. Gives you that good vibe. You feeling good. You like, yeah, I picked a good one, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Oh, I heard that. You don't want to ever go to a venue and be like, oh, I heard that one. You gotta have those. Those are classics. But at the end of the day, you gotta dig and create. So I don't know, but it has to be something vibey, or probably more of a soul type feel. But
Okay.
it really paints a picture of the scene that you're actually experiencing. You know,
Okay.
the closer you can get to that scene of you seeing your beautiful wife walk in, it connects. It's like, yo, that's you like I said before, music transports me to a whole nother. You like, wow. Like I don't see the crowd, I don't see my family. I just see that beautiful woman walking down the aisle, and that music just, yeah. So I can't give away the official track, but it has to be something vibey. It has to be something that has a richness to it. It can't be. It's got to be something that is very rarely played in your in
Okay.
your circles. I think that's very because a lot of times, and that's why I like even the song for my brother when he was dancing. It meant so much because and it means more now that he's not here. But it was like it took me away, even though I wasn't getting married, but I was just like I was there. And that's what you don't want to just say. People sit at the table and they start humming and it's, no, 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 no. If that music ain't connecting to your heart and your soul and put you into and it's like those movie moments where everything just drowns out and you just focus. Those are the things you want to experience at people's weddings and events and stuff. That's why I love music so much. So if it ain't doing that for me, I'm not listening to
Okay. So you play music around the house? You play music just because you home?
it. That's I play music where I work. I play music because I work from home most of the time. I play music. Yeah, I do play music all over the place. Play music when I'm in the shower. I'm trying to get.
Mhm.
I'm really trying to redo my shower in my house, my master bathroom, where it has speakers in there. and all I can do is plug in my waterproof phone, and I can play music and just vibe and shower. People like singing in showers, right? They
Some
do
do,
that.
some don't. Some be quiet. Some
No, no,
different reasons for getting in the water.
no. The
But no,
vibe hits differently when you're in the bathroom. When you sitting there
agree,
thinking, "Oh, that was dope," are you in your zone? Right? If you
agree.
out in the kitchen, well, if you cooking, that gives you a different vibe. But yeah, I play music all the time, and then I
Yeah.
have a studio that I'm working on that I'm building out now. So that inshallah will be done in probably 6 months. So that's gonna
Okay.
be a nice little thing in the basement.
Yeah. So cause I checked a few pictures and I saw some equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what
yeah.
you doing with it?
That's the question that everybody wants to know. They be like, "You been doing all these beats? What you doing with them?" Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, sweetheart. Don't worry. How's that little boy? Don't worry about that. That's that. That. No. I'm building. I got a lot of stuff. Like even with the Black Panther coming out, I got new designs. So I had a shirt before. I had shirt designs, and everybody loved it. So I'm really trying to make an impact. I'm not a marketing guy. This is why I move so fast and slow, and I'm not really timey. If I had a team, I probably would have been better. But I'm creating a new design for the second Black Panther, trying to revamp that and just get out my arts and ideas. Um, I believe that's part of the reason why I'm here too. Is just to create and be creative. So,
Yeah. Dream project.
dream project. What's my
Yeah.
dream project?
That's your dream project.
Something to do with arts and music that impacts children and youth.
Quit playing. Go ahead.
So that I love, and that's part of the reason why I continue to go is because a lot of my nieces and nephews are into it, and like I said, I'm in my 40s. I can't keep up with some of these people, but inspiring them and really, I think even with the music part, you get to hear their stories, and I just let them tell the stories. It could be raw and ragged. It could be nice and neat. I just let them be themselves, and I think that's a lot of them like because they're waiting for the studio to get built back up, but I have a
Yeah.
lot of talented people in my family. My son was a writer or whatever. He writes, but he's in school now. He starts college in January.
Oh.
But he's still into the music fast. But he's at a point now where he has to grow and develop into himself. So that's obviously not the priority right now. But the dream project will be something that's creative, that's impactful for our young people because I think that is why we're here. A lot of people might disagree. Like, well, I want to go tour and fly around the world. No, 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 no. Allah put us on this earth to create and build for the future. What's the best way to do it? Impact the children. We ain't gonna be here forever. The children ain't gonna be here forever. But
Yeah.
that's one thing that I'm blessed to say with my dad that he didn't leave us with billions of dollars, but he left us with billions of knowledge. And I think, and I don't know, I wouldn't change it for the world. I think, and that's what I want to do. I want to be like that. I want to be able to leave this earth. And the same thing with my mom. My mom is like, impacting the grandchildren, making those relationships. So when you're gone, you're not forgotten. You're not forgotten. That $500,000 check can spend fast, but that wealth of knowledge that was taught to me when I was 5, 6 years old, that love and that unconditional, support that you gave me, that can go on for generations. So that's my goal, and I'm happy and blessed that I had at least one son, and I pray to have more, inshallah. Um, but I want to make sure that I'm the best father, the best parent, the best uncle, the best brother, whatever it is, and to leave my legacy. Part of it is creating music and developing, creative spirits and creative ways to, if Allah takes me soon, I have something left where people can know who Akram Sadiq is. Maybe this
Okay.
Instagram live right here. Like, hey,
Okay. So, inshallah, she should love music, love children,
Hmm.
appreciate family.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. Should she be willing to cook at 3 a.m.?
For me,
Yeah.
no.
Y'all married. What are you talking about? No, at least 6 minutes, 6 seconds remaining. Really? They gonna cut me off?